Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalam ala ashraf al-anbiya wal-mursaleen Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Believing brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to this another of our sittings. It was requested of me by the admins to cover the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we begin with BAKR SIDDIQ. And the reason why we decide to begin with Bakr is because he was the closest companion of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, author 15, please take notes. His real name was Abdallah ibn Abi Quhafa. His real name was Abdullah ibn Abi Quhafa. That was the real name of BAKR SIDDIQ. Abdullah ibn Abi Quhafa. Abdullah ibn Abi Quhafa, that was his real name. And he was born 573 CE. As you can hear, the Azan is being called. They are going to call me to lead them in prayer, and then I will come back to you. I will lead the Salah and then I'll come back to you, inshallah ta'ala. So, maybe you can hear the Azan being called because I live on the premises of the masjid. We have about 5-6 homes here. And I was appointed the Imam of the masjid. For those of you who don't know which town I live in, that's the name of my city in Jamaica. And the masjid is called the Negril Masjid. I was appointed the Imam there. BAKR SIDDIQ was the most senior of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Okay, authenticated 15, content to write. BAKR SIDDIQ was the most senior of the companions of the Prophet. Abu Bakr is not his real name, that is his nickname. The word Bakr, the word Bakr means early. He was given the title of Bakr because he was the first adult to embrace Islam. The first male adult to embrace Islam was Abu Bakr. Bakr means early. So because he was the first male adult to embrace Islam, he was given the nickname Abu Bakr, the father of the one who came to Islam early. The father of the early entrance into Islam, Abu Bakr. So when you're asked where the name Abu Bakr came from, that is the answer. So he was given this title because he was the first male to accept Islam. The first male adult who was free. The first male adult who was free, not a slave, to embrace Islam was Abu Bakr. The Prophet said in hadith, from all the people I called to Islam, the person who was the easiest to embrace Islam was Abu Bakr. Do you think you can find that hadith? From all the people I invited to Islam, the person who was the easiest to embrace Islam was Abu BAKR SIDDIQ, or Hujjah on the board. From all the people I called to Islam, the one who was the easiest to embrace Islam was Al-Bakr. He was the easiest to accept Islam as it was told by the Prophet ﷺ. Al-Bakr Siddiq, he belonged to the Hanafiya movement. What is the Hanafiya movement? Al-Bakr Siddiq, before he embraced Islam, he belonged to the Hanafiya movement. The Hanafiya movement, it means the upright movement. These are people who did not bow to idols. They abhor idol worship. They are not that idol worshiping is haram. Hanafi. Look at my spelling. The Hanafiya movement, meaning the people who did not worship idols, even though they were not yet Muslims, they did not fall victim to idol worshiping, because their natural instincts told them it is wrong to worship idols. Did you find the hadith I quoted? From all the people I invited to Islam, the one who embraced Islam, the easiest, the quickest was Abdurrahman bin Auf and Uthman ibn Affan. They belong to this movement as well. They did not worship idols. They hung on to the Hanafiya movement. Allah spoke about this in Surah 30, verse 30. So Allah said, فَأَقِمْ وَجْهَكَ لِلدِّينِ حَنِيفًا فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا. Turn your face to the one and only true religion. Allah said, Hanifa. فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا لَا تَبْدِيلَ لِخَلْقِ اللَّهِ ذَلِكَ الدِّينُ الْقَيِّمُ وَلَكِنْ أَكْثَرُ النَّاسِ لَا يَعْلَمُونَ. So set you, O Muhammad, your face towards the religion of pure Islamic monotheism, which is the Hanafiya movement. Allah's fitra, the natural instincts. Fitra means natural instincts which Allah created mankind. No change will there be in the creation of Allah. So BAKR Siddiq, he belonged to this movement, the Hanafiya movement. Meaning, even before he heard about Islam, he did not worship idols. He did not worship idols, even though he did not hear about Islam. Abdurrahman bin Auf belonged to the Hanafiya movement, as well as Uthman ibn Affan. Not even in Jahiliyyah did they worship idols. The Prophet informed his companions that whenever he invited a person to Islam, that person would hesitate before making up his mind to embrace Islam, except for Al-Bakr, who neither hesitated nor wavered. Okay, this is the hadith that I was looking for, that everybody wavered about taking Shahada except Al-Bakr. When the Prophet invited him to Islam, he embraced Islam without hesitating, and he never wavered about embracing Islam. BAKR SIDDIQ had 3 daughters and 3 sons. BAKR SIDDIQ had 3 sons and 3 daughters. Let's begin with the sons. The first one was called Abdallah. The second son was called Abdurrahman. Abdurrahman. The second one is called Abdurrahman. And the third one was called Muhammad. Muhammad ibn Abu Bakr. As for his daughters, the daughters were Asma, the second daughter Aisha, and the third Kulthum. The wives of BAKR SIDDIQ. Now let's take a look at his wives. The first wife he had 4 wives over the years. Over the years he married 4 times. So put in your notes, over the years he married 4 times. The first wife was Qutayla. Qutayla bint Abdul Uzza. Qutayla bint Abdul Uzza. This tells you that her father was a pagan because he called himself Abdul Uzza. How can you call yourself Abdul Uzza? A'udhu billah. And she herself was a pagan woman. And because she was a pagan, BAKR SIDDIQ divorced her. Abdul Uzza, that is shirk. Qutayla was the mother of Asma. Qutayla was the mother of Asma. The mother of Aisha was a different woman. So the second wife of Abu Bakr was called Ruman. Ruman was known for her piety, and she was the mother of Aisha. Ruman was the mother of Aisha. She was the one who comforted Aisha when the hypocrites slandered her in Medina. She was the one who comforted Aisha when hypocrites slandered her name. I will go to lead the Salah, then I will return. Please send out invites to everyone on your pass list. The third wife was called Asma, and the fourth wife was called Habiba bint Kharija. The third wife Asma, and the fourth wife Habiba bint Kharija. I'll be back in 7 minutes. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Please send out invites to everyone. Any voice? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Okay, let's continue the life story of Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu. Qutayla, his first wife, gave birth to 2 children, Asma and Abdallah. Qutayla, the first wife, gave birth to 2 children, Asma and Abdallah. Abu Bakr Siddiq divorced her because 7 years after the Hijrah to visit her daughter 7 years after she came, we had a heavy downpour here in Jamaica. Seven years after the Hijrah, do you want to relay the dars, because you keep giving me a 2? Bismillah. 7 years after the Hijrah, Qutayla came to Medina to visit her daughter Asma. Because of her spiritual status of being a kafir, Asma didn't allow her mother in the house. And Qutayla brought gifts. She brought gifts for her daughter Asma. Because of her status, her spiritual status, Asma didn't allow her in the house because she was a pagan. Allah did not like how Asma treated her mother. So because Allah did not like how Asma treated her mother by not allowing her in the house, Allah revealed Surah 60 verse 8. Allah revealed Surah 60 verse 8. لا ينهاكم الله عن الذين لم يقاتلوكم في الدين ولم يخرجوكم من دياركم أن تبروا وتقسطوا إليهم إن الله يحب المقسطين. Allah doesn't forbid you to deal justly and kindly with those who fought not against you on account of religion and did not drive you out of your homes because of your religion. Verily Allah loves those who deal with equity. This ayah came down for Qutayla and Asma. It is called Asbab and Nuzul, causes of revelation. The ayah came down for Qutayla. Please put that in the notes. Later she embraced Islam, but in the early days of Islam she remained a kafir, but a pagan, but later she embraced Islam. Brothers and sisters, I'm going to reboot the computer. Give me a second. Okay, thank you for finding Asbab al-Nuzul, the cause of revelation. And this is found in Bukhari. Later on, Qutayla did accept Islam. Okay, I'm going to reboot the computer. Just give me a minute. The admins are recording this dars because I heard I gave many speeches which were not recorded. Okay, let's continue the dars. We have brought you the reason why Allah sent down Surah 60 verse 8. It was to do with Qutayla, who came to visit her daughter. She was a kafira at that moment. Asma didn't allow her in the house. Allah did not like how Asma treated her mother. And Allah revealed Surah 60 verse 8. Allah does not forbid you to deal justly and kindly with those who did not fight against you for the sake of your religion, neither did they drive you out of your homes. Verily Allah loves those who deal with justice. Now let's continue the story of BAKR SIDDIQ radiallahu anhu. As a young man, BAKR SIDDIQ worked as a merchant and he became wealthy. As a young man, BAKR SIDDIQ worked as a merchant and he became wealthy. And he traveled extensively throughout the Arabian Peninsula. He go to Yemen in the winter and Syria in the summertime. Spoke about this journey of Quraysh in the Quran. لِإِلَافِ قُرَيْشِ إِلَافِهِمْ رِحْلَةَ الشِّتَاءِ وَالصَّيْفِ. By the tradition of the Quraysh, you embark on two journeys, one in Shita in winter and one in Saif in the summer. You went to Yemen in the winter and Syria in the summer, and you became wealthy. So Allah spoke about the journeys, these two journeys of Quraysh. BAKR SIDDIQ used to embark on these journeys as a trader, and he became wealthy. Because he traveled extensively throughout the Arabian Peninsula, he gained a lot of knowledge in regards to fiqh al-waqi of the Arabian Peninsula. His knowledge of fiqh al-waqi became vast because of his journeys as a merchant all over the Arabian Peninsula. Fiqh al-waqi means knowledge of current events on the ground. Any other use to travel to Yemen and Syria during winter and summer. Okay, they used to go to Yemen in the winter and Syria in summer. That's the tradition of Quraysh, and he became wealthy. Because he traveled a lot, his knowledge of current events became vast. Okay, yes, we continue the dars. BAKR SIDDIQ embraced Islam. He was instrumental in bringing other influential to Islam. He invited other important people of Quraysh to Islam. BAKR SIDDIQ invited Uthman ibn Affan to Islam, another rich merchant of Quraysh. Another rich merchant of Quraysh who was from a powerful clan, the Umayyad clan. BAKR who invited Uthman to Islam. It was BAKR SIDDIQ who invited Abdurrahman bin Auf to Islam, another rich merchant of Quraysh. Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he married the daughter of Abu Bakr. And this marriage made them become natural allies, the Prophet and Abu Bakr. When Islam started to spread in Mecca, the pagans of Mecca became insecure about losing their position. The Islam is coming to take away from them their positions. So they started to
persecute the Muslims. And the Rasul gave permission, well, he instructed his companions to migrate to Ethiopia. He said, in that land there is a king, no one is oppressed in his country. So the Sahabas migrated to Ethiopia. BAKR SIDDIQ wanted to migrate as well. And the pagans of Quraysh became hostile towards Islam. The Prophet told the Muslims to migrate to Ethiopia. He said, in that land there is a king, no one is oppressed. Do you think you can find that hadith? In Abyssinia, there is a king, no one is oppressed in his company. BAKR SIDDIQ, he was trying to migrate as well. He was trying to migrate as well. Somebody saw him leaving Mecca. And he said greeting to Ethiopia to avoid the persecution of the pagans. He said, how can a person important like you want to land because of persecution? So Ibn Daghina, who was not a Muslim, he said, I want you to return to Mecca and I will announce publicly that you are under my patronage. I am the patron of Al-Bakr. Al-Bakr is under my patronage. So this person who was a leader of his tribe, he publicly declared that Al-Bakr is underneath my patronage. Muslims use this hadith to say, if I am living in the USA and I become an ally of the Republicans, I did not do anything wrong. Because this man was a kafir and he became an ally of Al-Bakr and publicly announced that he will protect Al-Bakr from the persecution of Quraysh. So there are people who say, if I am living in the UK and I become an ally of the Liberal Democrats or the Conservatives as a Muslim, or even Labour, I did not do anything wrong, because this man was a kafir and Abu Bakr was underneath his patronage. He publicly announced that he will protect Abu Bakr from the persecution of Quraysh, and he wasn't a Muslim, he was a kafir. Ibn Daghina publicly announced that Abu Bakr is underneath his protection. Abu Bakr agreed to return to Mecca because Ibn Daghina was a powerful leader of his tribe in Mecca, and he had influence and wealth. The Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, if I should choose a friend from the people of the dunya, I would have chosen Al-Bakr. But the Islamic Brotherhood is better. Said, from all the people who benefited me with their companionship and their wealth, no one benefited me with their wealth and their companionship like Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Siddiq, even though he was middle-aged and fighting was not his profession, he wasn't a soldier, he was a merchant. In spite of that, after embracing Islam, he fought alongside the Prophet in battles. He was middle-aged. He was a merchant. He was given a cushioned lifestyle, a soft upbringing, because he was rich. Middle-aged. Fighting was not his profession. In spite of that, after embracing Islam, he participated in the battles with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was with the Prophet He was the traveling companion with the Prophet when the Prophet was migrating from Mecca to Medina. Traveling companion of the Prophet when the Prophet was migrating from Mecca to Medina, which the Prophet used to migrate from Mecca to Medina. That camel was bought by Al-Bakr. The very camel which the Prophet used to migrate from Mecca to Medina, that camel was bought and paid for by Al-Bakr. It was bought not from Al-Bakr, it was bought by Al-Bakr. It wasn't bought from Al-Bakr, it was bought by Al-Bakr. He paid for it from his own pocket. So Allah Ta'ala spoke about the traveling companion of the Prophet in Surah Tawbah verse 4. When they migrated, everyone was expecting the Prophet to go north, but the Prophet, he outsmart Quraysh, he went south, 5 miles south of Mecca. All the kuffar were expecting the Prophet to go north because Medina is north. The Prophet outsmarted them. He went south, 5 miles south of Mecca. And he went inside a cave. You know, the cave was stubble. They were in the cave, and he said to his companion, don't be sad or don't be afraid, verily Allah is with us. So Allah pronounced Al-Bakr a companion of Muhammad in the Quran. So when the Shiites make takfir of Al-Bakr, like they do, they are trying to veto Allah. That's why a Shiite is a kafir. The Shiites are kafirs because they make takfir on Al-Bakr. Even though Allah pronounced him as Sahaba, a companion of Muhammad in Surah Tawbah verse 40. I can bring you 20 ayahs that the Shiites don't believe in, but that's not our topic. We continue. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam spent 3 days in the cave. He was in the cave for 3 days. It was Asma who used to bring them food and water. Asma was in charge of bringing them food and water. When Abu Jahl found out that the Prophet and Abu Bakr escaped, he went to Abu Bakr's house and said to Asma, "Where is your father?" Asma said, "I don't know where my father is." And he said, "You're lying," and he slapped her in the face, and her earring fell on the ground. So a woman can keep a secret. When a woman is God-fearing, a woman can keep a secret. Abu Jahl, when he found out that Abu Bakr escaped with the Prophet, he went to Asma's house where Abu Bakr was living and said, "Where's your father?" She said, "I don't know where my father is." He said, "You're lying," and hit her in the face until the earring fell on the ground. So a woman can keep a secret. Secondly, you are allowed to lie to the enemy. You're allowed to lie to the enemy. When you are living in Dar Harb, like Europe and America, you're allowed to lie to the system because the system is the enemy. Asma lied to Abu Jahl, and Makkah was Dar Harb back then. The person in charge of bringing food and water to the Prophet and Abu Bakr for 3 days while they were hiding in the cave. And the reason Allah revealed the ayah, "Don't be afraid, Allah is with us. La tahzan inna Allah ma'ana." Don't be sad or don't be afraid. It's because the kafirs, they came and they surrounded the cave, and Abu Bakr said, if they look carefully, they'll find us. The Prophet said, what about two believers in a cave and Allah is the third? Did you hear that? What the Prophet said to Abu Bakr? What about two Muslims in a cave and Allah is the third? Don't be afraid, Allah is with us. Surah Tawbah, verse 40. Siddiq, he participated in the Battle of Badr. Badr 2AH. Siddiq, he participated in the Battle of Badr. When was that? 2AH. Said all the people who participated in the Battle of Badr will be in paradise. So for you to be a Sahaba and you fought at Badr, that in itself was a great honor for you. If you were living in the time of the Prophet and you were a Sahaba and you fought at the Battle of Badr, that in itself gave you great honor and prestige among the other Sahabas. Because all the people who participated in the Battle of Badr will be in paradise. Abu Bakr Siddiq, he participated in the Battle of Uhud. 4 rightly gathered caliphs participated in Badr, except for Uthman, because his wife was sick and the Prophet told him to stay home and look after his wife. The Prophet gave him permission to stay back to look after his wife. The Battle of Uhud was 3AH. The Battle of Uhud, 3AH. What's the takhrij for this hadith? Where is the volume on the page? Nobody posts anything until the takhrij. Where's the takhrij? Volume and page. Continue. Where's the takhrij? The volume and the page for this hadith? Okay, shukran. Abu Bakr Siddiq participated in the Battle of the Ditch. The ditch was 5AH. The ditch was 5AH. He participated in the Battle of the Ditch. Siddiq was with the Prophet at the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. Omar was there as well. The Treaty of Hudaybiyah, and that is 6AH. Was with the Prophet at the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, 6AH. Abu Bakr Siddiq, he also fought at the Battle of Khaybar. The Battle of Khaybar was 6AH. He participated with the Prophet at the Battle of Khaybar. Siddiq was with the Prophet at the conquest of Mecca. He participated in the conquest of Mecca. And that was 8AH. Khaybar was when the Prophet defeated the Jews. Siddiq participated in the Battle of Hunayn, 8AH. He fought at the Battle of Hunayn as well. In the Battle of Hunayn, 8AH, he also participated in the Tabuk expedition. The Tabuk expedition was 8AH. Expedition was when the Prophet was getting ready to fight the Romans for the first time. So when he announced publicly that he was going to take on the Romans over the Arabian Peninsula, they poured into Medina because they wanted to join the Prophet at this historic battle. And the women of Medina, they took off their earrings and their bangles, their necklaces, gold earrings and necklaces, and they gave it to Bilal as sadaqah because the Prophet wanted money to buy weapons and to feed the soldiers. Usman gave a third of what he owned. Omar gave half of what he owned. Abu Bakr gave all of what he owned. The Prophet was surprised and asked Abu Bakr, "What did you leave behind for your wife and children?" He told the Prophet, "I left behind for them Allah and His Rasul." Okay, please find the hadith as was quoted. When Abu Bakr did that, Omar said, "I can never compete with Abu Bakr in regards to acts of piety. I will never succeed in competing with Abu Bakr in regards to acts of piety." And the hadith, "I left behind for them Allah and His Rasul," and please find as soon as possible. And this was when he gave all of what he owned in life to Islam. This is the hadith. Abu Bakr Siddiq participated in many more battles, but I cannot name all the battles because the Prophet fought 27 battles. He was always with the Prophet on the battlefield. I want to tell you the most important battles. But the historians, they are surprised. How can a man be middle-aged and he has never fought in his lifetime? He doesn't know about battlefield activities. He was a merchant by profession. But after embracing Islam, he did not hesitate to go to the battlefield with the Prophet. It proves the sincerity of Abu Bakr. He's not like Khalid ibn Walid and Ikrimah. These people, fighting was their profession. Ever since they were teenagers, all they know about is fighting. Abu Bakr Siddiq didn't participate in battles. But after embracing Islam, he did not turn his back on jihad, even though it's not his expertise. His area of expertise is business. He was a merchant. It shows the sincerity of Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr was famous for being brave on the battlefield, but he was famous for being kind to poor people. He was known for being kind to those who were poor. He used his wealth to free slaves. He was the one who freed Bilal and Ammar ibn Yasir. He paid for them to be freed. Bilal ibn Rabah and Ammar ibn Yasir. One day, Abu Jahl saw Abu Bakr feeding poor people. And he said to Abu Bakr, "You are feeding poor people. Don't you believe if it was Allah's will, they would have found food for themselves?" Abu Bakr said, "Yes." So I said, "Why do you feed poor people? If it was Allah's will, they themselves would have found food." Abu Bakr said, "Allah blessed some people with wealth and some people He tests with poverty. And those who were given wealth should be kind to those who are poor." Abu Jahl said to Abu Bakr, "Your religion is strange. I will never embrace Islam." Your religion is strange. I can't do that. So his attitude is, "Are you for real? I will never embrace Islam. Your religion is strange. It is bizarre. It is weird. You are in clear error, manifest error." So Allah reveals Surah Yasin, verse 47, for Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. Yasin, verse 47. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ أَنْفِقُوا مِمَّا رَزَقَكُمُ اللَّهُ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَنُطْعِمُ مَنْ لَا يَشَاءُ اللَّهُ أَطْعَمَهُ إِنْ أَنْتُمْ إِلَّا فِي ضَلَالٍ مُبِينٍ. And when it is said to them, "Spend of that which Allah provided you," those who disbelieve, say to those who believe, Shall we feed those whom, if it was Allah's will, Allah would have fed them himself? Verily, indeed, you are in plain error, manifest error. This ayah came down for Abu Bakr. Who believed Abu Bakr and who disbelieved? Abu Jahl. Abu Jahl is a disbeliever Allah is speaking about in this ayah. Siddiq had a cousin called Mr. Ibn Uthatha. That's the name of Abu Bakr's cousin. He fought at the Battle of Badr as well, Mr. When the hypocrites of Medina slandered his daughter and accused her of having an affair, Mr. got caught up in the slander. Abu Bakr said, I will never give Mr. any more money. Ibn Uthatha was a cousin of Abu Bakr. When the hypocrite slandered Aisha and accused her of having an affair, his name got caught up in the slander. Abu Bakr was disappointed. The same man I give my money to and give him any more of my money. Now, he did not open his mouth and accuse Aisha of having an affair. So don't think he went around saying, oh, of Aisha, he smiled. And just for smiling, I'm not going to give Mr. any more money. And Allah Ta'ala revealed Surah 24. You have to bring the ayah in green font, Surah 24, verse 22. This ayah came down for Abu Bakr again. I'm bringing you the ayahs that came down for Abu Bakr. Bring me the ayah in green font. So Allah Ta'ala said, وَلَا يَأْتَلْ أُولِي الْفَضْلِ مِنْكُمْ وَالسَّعَةِ يُؤْتُوا أُولِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْمَسَاكِينِ وَالْمُهَاجِرِينَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَلْيَعْفُوا. Allah Ta'ala said, and let not those among you who are blessed with grace and wealth, those who are blessed with graces and wealth, swear not to give any sort of help to those of their kinsmen, like Mr. was a cousin of Abu Bakr, the needy, and those who left their homes for Allah's cause. Mr. migrated from Mecca to Medina. He was of the Muhajirun, he migrated. Let them pardon and forgive. Do you not love that Allah should forgive you? And Allah is the most forgiving and most merciful. So when the ayah came down, Abu Bakr said, I want Allah to forgive me, so I'm going to forgive my cousin, Mr. And Abu Bakr continued to support him financially. Abu Bakr said, I'm going to forgive him because I want Allah to forgive me. So in life, if somebody hurt you and you forgive them, Allah will forgive you. But if you carry grudges and you don't forgive, when you commit sins, Allah won't forgive you because you don't have a heart which is forgiven. You are only allowed to forgive real Muslims. As for forgiving hypocrites, it's not the Sunnah to forgive hypocrites. You only forgive a real Muslim because you don't want to put their hereafter in jeopardy. BAKR SIDDIQ did not waver in regards to his faith. He was famous for being stern with his Iman. His Iman was unshakable. Rasul went on the journey al-Isra wal-Miraj. He told the Meccans, I was taken to Jerusalem last night. And they said, now we got you. We always wanted to prove you to be a liar, and you gave us the opportunity. because to go to Jerusalem is 1 month journey, 1 month to, 1 month from. So the kuffar, they went to the gates of Mecca. And when Abu Bakr entered Mecca, they said, "Oh, Abu Bakr, didn't you hear what your friend Muhammad said? Didn't you hear the latest?" So what did he say? He said he was in Jerusalem last night. You are a trader, you know it takes 1 month to, 1 month from. Do you believe that? Abu Bakr said, "Did Muhammad say that?" They said, "Yes, he said that. That's what he's claiming. He was in Jerusalem last night, and now he's with us in Mecca." Did Muhammad really say that? They said, "Yes, that's what he's claiming." Abu Bakr said, "If Muhammad said that, then I believe it." What is so strange about him going to Jerusalem and coming back in one night? Revelation comes down to him every day on a daily basis. What is strange about that? It's because of his firm belief in the Isra wal Miraj of the Prophet, and he did not wait to his faith. He was given the nickname BAKR SIDDIQ. As-Siddiq means the one who is truthful, whose iman is real, not fake. So why the two? Because of this incident, it's because of this scenario, they gave him the title BAKR SIDDIQ, the one who is sincere and truthful to his religion, the one who doesn't waver in regards to his faith. I spoke about the journey of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Surah 17 verse 1. This important journey of the Prophet was made mention of by Allah in Surah 17 verse 1. So Allah Ta'ala said in Surah Isra verse 1, Subhanalladhi asra bi'abdihi laylan من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير. Glorified and exalted is he who has taken his servant Muhammad by night from Masjid al-Haram in Mecca to Masjid al-Aqsa in Jerusalem, whose neighborhood we have blessed, in order to show him Muhammad a wonderful sign. Verily, he is the all-hearer, the all-seer. This is an ayah where Allah spoke about the journey of the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam on al-Isra wal Miraj. But didn't waver in regards to his faith and accepted without doubt that Muhammad went to Isra wal Miraj. Because of this, he was given the title As-Siddiq, the one who doesn't waver in regards to his being. Okay, shukran, that's what I said. Okay, so whenever you ask Muslims of the world, which companion of the Prophet is your favorite, who inspired you in regards to charity, in regards to being fighting on the battlefield, given to Allah, they will tell you none other than BAKR SIDDIQ. He is the favorite companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. All the Muslims all over the world will tell you the Sahaba inspires them to fight on the battlefield and to give your money in charity. Not only did he spend to buy weapons, but he physically participated in all the battles with the Prophet. All the Muslims will tell you my favorite Sahaba is BAKR As-Siddiq, and they love BAKR As-Siddiq from the bottom of their hearts. Masjid with Bakr and Omar, one on his right, one on his left. And then he said to Bakr and Omar, you will resurrected with me in this format, with one of you on my right, one of you on my left on the day of resurrection. Who is supposed to find that hadith? somebody give me one. My computer, or is it his computer? Kill you if I want it. Abu Bakr said to his son, Abdurrahman, Wallahi, if I had seen you during the battle, I would have killed you. Son Abdurrahman did not remain a kafir. He embraced Islam, and he was a lion on the battlefield, and he helped the Muslims to conquer Syria. Abdurrahman did not remain a kafir. He embraced Islam, and he helped the Muslims to conquer Syria. When the Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was alive, he groomed Abu Bakr to take over as his rightful successor. The Prophet was alive. He groomed Abu Bakr to take over the leadership of Islam and to be his rightful successor. On the 9th year of the Hijrah, 9 AH, the Prophet sent Abu Bakr to be the Amir of a Hajj delegation. So he got the honor of being the first Amir of Hajj after the conquest of Mecca. The first Hajj to be performed after the conquest of Mecca was performed by none other than Abu Bakr. He was the Amir for Hajj. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam himself made Hajj 10 AH, a year later. Himself made Hajj 10 AH, a year later. His illness. After the Prophet made Hajj, he fell ill. After the Prophet performed Hajj, he fell ill. During his illness, he appointed Abu Bakr to lead the Muslims in prayer. Aisha said, my father, he cries too much, so choose somebody else to lead the Salah. The Prophet refused to change Abu Bakr as the Imam of the Muslims. The scholar said the reason why the Prophet insisted that no one else except Abu Bakr should lead the Salah is because he was grooming Abu Bakr to take over as the Caliph. His illness, he ordered Abu Bakr to lead the Muslims in prayer, and he insisted no one else should lead the people in prayer because he was grooming Abu Bakr to take over as a Caliph. That's why he insisted only Abu Bakr should lead the prayer. Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away. Some people could not cope with the loss, especially Umar. So Umar said, if anyone said Muhammad is dead, I am going to chop off his head. The Prophet is not dead. He's gone to meet his Lord the way Musa went to Mount Sinai for 40 days. The Prophet is going to come back. But BAKR SIDDIQ, he was very calm all this time. So he went into the house of the Prophet and kissed him on the forehead. And then he came out of the house and said, O people, anyone who worships Muhammad, Muhammad is dead. And anyone who worships Allah, Allah is alive and cannot die. Then he read Surah 3:144. Muhammad is only a man and messengers pass away before him. If he is killed, If you should die or being killed, will you apostate? Will you turn back on your heels? So Abu Bakr Siddiq read Surah 3, 144 to calm the situation down. So Abu Bakr was very level-headed, and he was the one who brought normalcy to the Ummah at a time when the Ummah faced the biggest disaster in their life. And what is that? The death of the Prophet. It was the wise leadership of Abu Bakr that brought normalcy to the Ummah. Tranquility, calmness. He knelt down and kissed him and then started weeping and said, "My father and my mother be sacrificed for you, O Allah's Prophet." Surah 3, 144. Muhammad is no more than a prophet, and indeed many prophets have passed away before him. Muhammad should die or being killed, will you turn back on your heels as apostates? Those who worship Muhammad, Muhammad is dead, and whoever worships Allah, Allah is alive and cannot die. He made a statement and read Surah 3, 144. When Umar heard this, he became calm and accepted the reality that Muhammad is dead. The wise leadership of Abu Bakr brought back normalcy to the Ummah at a time when the Muslims faced their biggest crisis, their biggest disaster, and that was the death of the Prophet. Of the situation proves that he was pious, mature, wise. Of the situation when the Prophet passed away proves he was mature, pious, and wise. All these are qualities that are necessary for a successful leadership. They gave their bay'ah to Abu Bakr when the Prophet died, the Muslims gave their bay'ah to Abu Bakr. There is a hadith in which the Prophet said to Aisha, "Call your father and your brother, Abdurrahman, for me to write something. I'm going to put something in writing. Because I fear that somebody with ambition will come after me and stir up fitna." This hadith, I think, is found in Sahih Muslim. Call your father and your brother Abdurrahman for me to put something in writing. And then the Prophet said, Allah and the Muslims refused anyone except Abu Bakr. Find that hadith. Allah and the Muslims refuse anyone except Abu Bakr. Just a minute. Where is the hadith I quoted? The Prophet told Aisha, "Go and call your father and your brother Abdurrahman. I need to put something in writing." And then the Prophet said at the end of the hadith, Allah and the Muslims refuse anyone except Abu Bakr. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Am I can hear me? The hadith I quoted, the Prophet said to Aisha, "Call your father and your brother Abdurrahman for me to put something in writing. Because I fear that after me someone with ambition will come, and this person might cause division in the Ummah." And then the Prophet said, Allah and the Ummah, the Muslims, refused anyone except Abu Bakr. Did you find the hadith? It's taken an hour to find one hadith, and I have to finish my notes. I don't understand what's happening. Didn't Khalid give you the hadith? Since the three have got the hadith. the Prophet told Aisha, go and call your father and your brother Abdurrahman for me to put something in writing. I don't want you to take an hour to find one hadith because I need to finish my notes. Because I feared that somebody with ambition will come and cause fitna. And Allah and the believers refuse anyone other than Abu Bakr, Muslim, and Ahmad in his Musnad. Okay, this is a famous hadith. Why is it taking you an hour to find one hadith? Please share the hadith with others because some people are quicker in posting hadith than others, and I need to finish my notes. Reach the point which is called the inaugural speech of Abu Bakr. When Abu Bakr became the caliph, what's his first speech? That's the speech I want to see in front of me. BAKR SIDDIQ became the caliph. He gave an inaugural speech. Election as the caliph, Abu Bakr addressed the Muslims with these words: O people, I have been chosen by you as your leader, the caliph, although I am no better than any of you. If I do any wrong, set me right. Listen, truth is honesty and untruth is dishonesty. The weak among you are the powerful in my eyes as long as I do give them their dues. The powerful among you are weak in my eyes as long as I do not take away from them what is due to others. Okay, this is called his inaugural speech. This is found in Ibn Hisham's Sirah. I don't know why there's no Takhrij. Sirah Ibn Hisham. Where is the Takhrij? So this is the inaugural speech of Abu Bakr Siddiq when he became the caliph. He had the honor of being the first caliph of Islam. For Sirah Ibn Hisham, Volume 4, page 240, that's where the speech is found. Whenever you post something like this, always post the Takhrij. When I was in university, I was trained to speak with Hujjah. No Hujjah, you fail your dissertation. Prove that the best person to be the successor of the Prophet was Abu Bakr. And this is a bone of contention with us and the Shiites. Or the following hadiths. Okay, authentic 15, the next chapter, some hadiths about Abu Bakr. It's about Abu Bakr Siddiq. The first hadith, the Prophet said, follow those who come after me, Abu Bakr and Umar. After me, Abu Bakr and Umar. Okay, that's one hadith. The next hadith is, we used to say in the time of the Prophet, the best from among us was Abu Bakr, then Umar, then Uthman, and the Prophet did not object. Okay, find that hadith. We used to say in the midst of the Prophet, the best from among us was Abu Bakr, then Umar, then Uthman. The Prophet heard us saying it and did not object. Found the hadith that was quoted. We used to say in the midst of the Prophet, this hadith of Ibn Umar, the best from among us was Abu Bakr, then Umar, then Uthman. The Prophet heard us say it and did not object. Hadith that was quoted to compare the people as to who was better during the lifetime of our messenger. We used to say to regard Abu Bakr as the best, then Umar, and then Uthman. Okay, that is the hadith I wanted. Next hadith, and please do not take a long time to find the hadith because I need to finish my notes. The next hadith is, a woman came to the Prophet to ask for something, and the Prophet said, come back tomorrow. She said, what if I come and I don't find you? She meant, what if you die? The Prophet said, if you don't find me, then go to Abu Bakr. Find me, then go to Abu Bakr. That's another hadith. This is hadith number 3. Of Jubair ibn Mut'im. Okay, you have found it. This is another evidence used by the scholars to say Abu Bakr was the rightful successor because the woman meant death. What if I come and I don't find you? She meant death. The Prophet said, if you don't find me, then go to Abu Bakr. This is clear evidence that the rightful successor of Muhammad was none other than Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. So the Shiites, they have no feet to stand upon. The Shiites have no feet to stand upon. Because we have a mountain of evidence to prove that Abu Bakr was the rightful successor of Rasul sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Hadith is, if I should choose a friend for myself, I would have chosen Abu Bakr. If I should choose a friend, I would choose Abu Bakr. Because the Prophet benefited from his companionship and his wealth. When you have wealth, if you use it to spread Islam, you get barakah. Some people cannot spend their wealth for Islam because they have no taqwa. They cannot spend fi sabilillah. Okay, find the hadith. If I should choose a friend, I would have chosen Abu Bakr. If I were to choose as my bosom friend, I would have chosen the son of Abu Quhafa, Abu Bakr, as my friend. The next hadith is, every prophet has 2 wazirs, 2 ministers, 2 in the heavens and 2 on earth. My wazirs in heaven are Jibril and Mikael, and my wazirs on earth are Abu Bakr and Umar. Find that hadith. Every prophet has 2 wazirs. My wazir, 2 wazirs in paradise, 2 in the heavens and 2 on earth. My 2 wazirs in heaven are Jibril and Mikael. My 2 wazirs on earth are Abu Bakr and Umar. There is a takhrij, volume and page for this hadith. I'm sure it's collected by Tirmidhi. Next hadith I have in mind is, Abu BAKR SIDDIQ will be the first from my ummah to enter the paradise. Siddiq will be the first from my ummah to enter the paradise. Will be the first of my people to enter paradise. Okay, Thank you for the hadith. Where is it? Takhrij. The takhrij for the hadith you have just posted. The other hadith I have in mind, one day the Prophet was on top of Mount Uhud and it shook. The Prophet said, "Be still, O Uhud, be calm. On top of you is a Prophet, a Siddiq, and 2 martyrs." You have posted the hadith, Abu Bakr will be the first from our ummah to enter paradise. Sunan Abu Dawud, there are other hadiths which show that Abu Bakr will be the first one to enter paradise. Hadith will show that Abu Bakr will be the first one from the ummah to enter paradise. Okay, whenever you post a hadith, please bring the takhrij. Be still, O Uhud, be calm, be steady, because on top of you is a Prophet, a Siddiq, and 2 shaheeds. The scholars use this hadith to say that this is a prediction of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that Umar and Uthman would die as shaheed. This is called one of the predictions of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Abu Bakr Siddiq, to prove his al-wala wal-bara, I think I've quoted enough hadith about Abu Bakr Siddiq. One day a Jew insulted Allah and said Allah is a pauper. A Jew insulted Allah and said Allah is poor, but they, the Jews, are rich. So Abu Bakr Siddiq punched the Jew in the face. His argument is, Abu Bakr became angry and punched the face of Finhas with a mighty blow. He then said to him, "By him in whose hand is my soul, if it weren't not that the treaty between us, O enemy of Allah, I would have killed you." Finhas went to the Prophet. "O Muhammad, look at what your companion has done to me." Then his face was swollen. The Messenger of Allah asked Abu Bakr, "What has driven you to do what he did?" "O Messenger of Allah, this enemy of Allah said something very serious. He claimed that Allah is poor, but they are rich." The Jews like to brag and boast about their wealth. They are rich. When he said that, I became angry for the sake of Allah and hit his face. Finhas denied. He said, "I didn't say it." When he denied, Allah revealed Surah 3, 181, لَقَدْ سَمِعَ اللَّهُ قَوْلَ الَّذِينَ قَالُوا إِنَّ اللَّهَ فَقِيرٌ وَنَحْنُ أَغْنِيَاءٌ. Verily Allah heard the speech of those who say Allah is poor, but they are rich. Surah 3, 181 came down for Abu Bakr. Yet again, I bring you another verse of the Quran that came down for Abu Bakr. Verily Allah heard the speech of those who say Allah is poor, but they are rich. The verse came down to tell the Prophet Abu Bakr was speaking the truth, and the Jew, Finhas, he was a liar. He was lying. I'll stop here for today because my 90 minutes are over. And I will continue Abu Bakr as-Siddiq tomorrow. This above ayah came to confirm to the Prophet that Abu Bakr was speaking the truth and the Jew was a liar. It's going to take me 10 minutes to finish my notes. I think I'll finish it tomorrow. It's going to take me another 10 minutes before I can finish my notes. In the future, you need to post the hadith quickly so that I don't have to wait an hour for one hadith. And when I ask for a hadith, you should share the hujjah with other admins, because some people take too long to post the hadith. You have to send it to other people who are quicker with computers. Because it's only 10 minutes left to finish my notes, I will I'll continue. Okay, authentic 15, I'll continue. The Prophet died, the first fitna that Abu Bakr had to face was which fitna? The fitna of people refusing to pay the zakah. That was the first fitna. Abu Bakr had to end this fitna when he became the caliph. People refusing to pay the zakah. Abu Bakr held a shura meeting, and Umar said, we're not going to fight them because they say the shahada. Abu Bakr was very angry with Umar. He grabbed him in the meeting and called him a wimp. So Umar was the tall one, Abu Bakr was medium height, yet he grabbed him up in the shura meeting and called him a wimp. When you were in Jahiliyyah, you were strong. Now that you are in Islam, you become weak. Okay, do you think you can find that hadith of the quoted? Abu Bakr said to Umar, when you were in Jahiliyyah, you were strong. Now that you are in Islam, you have become weak. He called him a wimp, khawar. Look at the word khawar, it means a wimp. Umar said, who will help you to fight them? Abu Bakr said, I'll fight them by myself, and if they deny me a piece of rope that they used to give to the Prophet, I will fight them till I get it back. Then the people in the Shura agreed to fight them. They were fought and killed. They were killed as kuffar because they denied one of the 5 pillars of Islam. So don't think they were killed as Muslims. They were killed as kuffar. This war is called Hurub al-Ridda, war against the apostates. So the expression Hurub al-Ridda means wars against the apostates. The first fitna Abu Bakr had to confront, people refusing to pay zakah. They said we pay zakah to Muhammad because Muhammad was a prophet. You, Abu Bakr, you are no prophet. You're just an ordinary man like us, so we're not going to pay you zakah. They were fought and killed as kuffar, and their women folks were taken as concubines. Because when a man apostates, when he apostated, if the wife stays with him, she has to be taken as a concubine, a right and possessed, because she did not dump her kafir husband. Will accept your version of the hadith. Does it mention where Abu Bakr grabbed him and called him a wolf? The version of the hadith I learned from my Shaykh, it talks about Abu Bakr grabbing of Umar and call him a wimp. I will accept your version of the hadith, no problem. I will accept your version of the hadith. I will fight against him who severs salah from zakah. I will fight against anyone who separates salah from zakah. So this was the first fitna Abu Bakr faced when he became the caliph, people refusing to pay the zakah. The second fitna Abu Bakr had to quell was the fitna of false prophets. Many false prophets came. Even a female claimed to be a prophet. Her name was Sajjah. But the biggest false prophet, the most influential, was Musaylimah. Musaylimah was the most dangerous of the false prophets. Because when the Sahabas fought against him, 12,000 Sahabas died. At the Battle of Yamama. Yamama is Riyadh. 12,000 Sahabas perished fighting Musaylimah. That's the biggest loss the Sahabas ever suffered. False prophets came and Abu Bakr fought all of them, but the most dangerous one was Musaylimah. Between Musaylimah and the Sahabas was so fierce that the blood ran in the valley like a river. The blood of the Sahabas ran in the valley like a river, and 12,000 died. They call it the Garden of Death. Some people call it the Valley of Death. Why? Because the blood of the Sahabas ran in the valley like a river, fighting against the false prophet Muslim. Abu Bakr sent 2 army generals to take him on, and he defeated them. Abu Bakr had to play his last card. His last card was Khalid ibn Walid, the only man in history who have never lost a battle. And he was defeated by Khalid ibn Walid, and the Muslim was killed by Wahshi, the black slave of Ethiopia who killed Hamza. He killed Muslim with the throw of the javelin. And 2 armies to fight Muslim, they were defeated. Abu Bakr had to play his last card, and that was who? Khalid ibn Walid. Even Ikrimah took on Muslim and got defeated. And Ikrimah was a fierce fighter. Hafiz died in this battle. So this Omar panicked and told Abu Bakr to put the Quran in book form. Abu Bakr refused, and Omar kept pressing the matter until he caved in, and he put the Quran in book form. 70 Hafiz died. It's because of the Battle of Yamama that the Sahabas agreed to put the Quran in book form. Because the Hafiz used to go to the front line to fight. 70 Hafiz died at this battle. Bringing stability to the Ummah, Abu Bakr fell ill. 12 AH. After bringing stability to the Ummah. Ill, 12 AH. He developed a fever. Ali to wash his body. He appointed Ali to wash his body because it was Ali who washed the body of the Prophet. He told Ali to wash his body because it was Ali who washed the body of the Prophet when the Prophet died. He called Uthman and he dictated his will to Uthman. And he dictated his will to Uthman. In the will, he said he wants Omar to become his rightful successor. Omar to take over as caliph after him, and in the will he said he wants Omar to lead his janazah. So as a Muslim, when you write a will, you should specify in the will who you want to wash your body and which sheikh you want to lead the janazah. Which sheikh you want to pray over you. You have to put that in the will. He died later, soon afterwards he died. Ali washed him. He was prayed over by Omar ibn al-Khattab, and he was buried beside the Prophet in Medina. His caliphate lasted 2 months, 2 years, 2 months, and 15 days. His caliphate lasted 2 years, 2 months, and 15 days. His caliphate lasted 2 years, 2 months, and 15 days. BAKR SIDDIQ is remembered in the hearts of the Muslims to be the first adult to embrace Islam, the first adult male to embrace Islam. You right what I'm saying? His caliphate lasted 2 years, 2 months, and 15 days. Okay. Today, the last sentence before we close, give me 3 more minutes. Today, BAKR SIDDIQ is remembered among the Muslims as the first adult male to embrace Islam. Today, BAKR SIDDIQ is remembered among the Muslims as the first adult male to embrace Islam. Known to be the closest companion of the Prophet, the most senior companion of the Prophet. the closest companion and the most senior companion of the Prophet. So known as the traveling companion of the Prophet during the Hijrah from Mecca to Medina. He was the traveling companion of the Prophet. The journey from Mecca to Medina, the Hijrah. As the Sahaba Allah spoke about, he is known as the companion Allah pronounced as Sahaba in Surah Tawbah verse 40, Surah 9 verse 40. He is known as the companion who Allah pronounced as Sahaba in Surah Tawbah verse 40. Known as the Sahaba who bought the camel for the Prophet to migrate with. He is known as the Sahaba who bought the piece of land in Medina to build the Prophet's mosque from his pocket. The Sahaba who bought the land where the Prophet mosque is built on from his pocket. As the first Amir of Hajj in Islam. The first Amir for Hajj, he even made Hajj before the Prophet made Hajj. His Hajj before the Prophet made Hajj. And he was the first Amir for Hajj in Islam. He is not the first Caliph in Islam. The first Caliph in Islam as the first person to enter paradise on the day of judgment. The first Muslim to enter paradise after all the prophets enter paradise. The first Muslim to enter paradise on the day of resurrection will be BAKR SIDDIQ. That is the life of Abu Bakr. The dars has now come to an end. I'd like to thank Author 15 for the notes. I'd like to thank Author 3 and Author 9 and our brothers Speak the Truth for posting the Hujjah. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. And please send out the notes on the blog for others to read and others Facebook. Siddiq was 2 years younger than the Prophet. He was 2 years younger than the Prophet. And he died at age 63 just like the Prophet. He died at age 63 just like the Prophet, and he was 2 years younger than the Prophet. I'll now close the door. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. I will now yield mine.